Coming up on this edition of NESCom Connection, we'll take a look at the outcome of Question 5, as well as a NESCom Teachers Photography exhibit.
We'll also have a main author joining us here in the studio. It's Friday, November 15th, and NESCom Connection starts right now.
From the New England School of Communications, this is your NESCom Connection.
Welcome to this edition of NESCom Connection. I'm Amber Abatoni.
And I'm Caitlin Farge.
Many Americans have a tradition of donating to a favorite charity during the holiday season, but this year others may want to help victims of the typhoon in the Philippines. No matter what your reason for giving, Corinne Kaifa has some reminders about those donations in today's Consumer Watch.
With Thanksgiving and the holidays almost here, it's a prime season for giving. And this year, images from the Philippines will likely touch hearts, prompting even more Americans to give to those in need. The internet has made it easier than ever to find a charity, but putting your faith and your money into a legitimate organization is a bit harder. You want to make sure you're donating to the right group. Many have similar names. The Better Business Bureau Wise Giving Alliance reminds those who want to help those abroad, like in the Philippines, to choose a charity that's experienced in international relief efforts. A startup group might have the best of intentions, but in situations like the typhoon's aftermath, may not have the infrastructure to carry out distribution, so many will prefer cash donations. It's also crucial to do some homework to find out what a charity really needs and wants. Unless they specifically cite items like clothing, don't send them. International relief efforts often prefer to get items regionally to cut down on shipping time and costs. And social media has become a popular vessel to drum up donations. Even if friends and connections are texting their financial support, it's important to vet it yourself before giving. For Consumer Watch, I'm Karen Kaifa.
Most people walking into the Robert E. White Gallery on campus would assume that the images were manipulated with Photoshop. However, this is not the case. The images in the exhibit reflections were instead altered with a common item, a mirror. Larry Ayotte, the photographer who took the frames, says that they were taken in Maine. Larry Ayotte is a faculty member at the New England School of Communications. If you would like to view the exhibit, it is on display until January 16th. The gallery is open Monday through Friday from 8 to 4:30.
Last month, the Maine Association of Broadcasters held its annual awards ceremony. The ceremony was held in Augusta, where both television and radio station personnel from all over the state attended. Within that personnel were students from the New England School of Communications, including journalism student Tim Stitzen. Stitzen represented the WHSN radio station and received second place for his news feature on Grandma Husson, a server at Dickerman Dining Hall at Husson University. He said the experience of attending the awards ceremony as a college student was an amazing one.
Professional environment. There were some Lifetime Achievements awards that were given out. It was really cool to see people that have been in the business for like 60 years, 50 years. So it was definitely, I'm just starting out in my career, but it was nice to be there, to kind of felt like I was on my way.
Stitzen also said that he never expected a simple class project to turn into an award-winning news piece. WHSN also received third place for the Edgar Allan Poe's Tale of Mystery and Imagination for the locally produced program category, as well as first place for Community Connections, a long-running public affairs program.
Circuses are a fun time of year to see acrobatics, clowns, and animals. But when circuses come to town, does everybody think this way? Michael Campbell has more.
Last weekend, the Ringling Brothers Circus brought one of their greatest shows on earth to Bangor. This was the last stop on the 2013-2014 tour for the circus's Gold Fully Charged show. Other shows from the circus will take place all across the country. 5 shows were held at the Cross Insurance Center from November the 7th to November the 10th. Performances of the circus included acrobatics, strength acts, stunt shows, and animal performances with elephants, horses, and camels. However, some people were not happy that the show was in town. Several protesters came to boycott the circus and encouraged people not to attend. They say that the way the circus treats animals who perform is inexcusable. According to protester information, Ringling Brothers was fined $270,000 for violating humane treatment laws. They also failed to test their elephants for tuberculosis. Endangered tigers were nearly baked alive in a boxcar, and 29 elephants, including 4 babies, have died since 1992. The circus's website says that the group takes good care of their animals and has several charities set up for their older animals. This includes a sanctuary for retired elephants and conservation efforts for the big cats. Michael Campbell, NESCom Connection.
The next stop for the circus will be its
Last
Built
weekend,
to Amaze spread show in Chicago.
Local elections were held last week, and with the passing of Question 5 comes a host of new developments for Maine Community College system. Ryan Aslan takes us to Bangor's Eastern Maine Community College campus for more details on what this means for Maine undergrads.
With 66% of Maine citizens voting yes on Question 5, campuses including Eastern Maine Community College will be receiving a sum of grant money for a number of renovations. Student activity and learning space on the EMCC campus will be expanding in lieu of a $2.5 million bond enacted by Maine Citizens Voting Initiative last week. Dan Bellier, Director of Administration and Student Services, explains how and where the bond money will be distributed.
There are 3 components to our project. One is a new entrance to Main Hall. 2 is the first floor space, which will be about 7,500 square feet of student life space. And the second floor will be 7,500 square feet of new academic space. And our students who are involved in our clubs and organizations are very excited about the new expanded student space, which will expand the cafe, student life offices, student clubs and organization offices.
Several departments in the EMCC system will be given expanded and updated workspace as the campus continues to grow in both size and student population.
Right now we're talking with our CAD program, and we're also talking with our digital graphics program to relocate them in part of the new academic space, which will create a hub of activity between our building construction program, our electrical automation program, and our wing that holds most of our computer labs.
Nearly 2,500 students are currently enrolled in the college, an 8% jump in the past year. The community college system focuses strongly on educating Maine citizens and creating opportunities for postgraduate success in the state. With affordable tuition and a well-developed infrastructure, Maine's community colleges will likely continue to grow. Ryan Aslan, NESCom Connection.
Maine's community colleges can expect to see the renovations begin within the next few months. And coming up after the break, Zach Miller will have your sports update. We'll be right back.
The Gracie Theater at Husson University invites you to its 2nd season, brimming with star power. Kicking off the season September 14th is the award-winning country duo Steel Magnolia. November welcomes 80s film sweetheart Molly Ringwald with her jazz quartet in an evening of musical entertainment. Forbidden Broadway, the fall-down funny musical roast of Broadway drops by February 1st. And wrapping up the season in April is TV and film star comedian Paul Reiser. Tickets for all 4 shows are available at gracietheater.com or by calling 941-7888.
Switch to Time Warner Cable and get home phone service, digital cable in HD, and Roadrunner high-speed online, all together in one affordable package. It's 3 high-end products for one low-end price. In fact, the more you get, the more you save. Want ease and convenience? You should get what you want. Call now and get the 3 products you want most, all on our advanced fiber network. Save hundreds of dollars a year when you get digital cable, Roadrunner high-speed online, and digital phone together. Time Warner Cable, the power of you.
Right here in Bangor, Maine is a new day. You are part of a team with passion and creativity. It's about personal attention at NESCom. You gotta pull your weight around here, even if it is the live truck.
Radio's all about personality. Hey, they can't see you.
Today, Coach Nason is preparing students for success.
Another practice day.
Fade up, fade down, fade up. We need a brand image. Go. Okay, here's the game plan.
The Red Sox have won their championship and are obviously now done, and the focus now turns to the Celtics, Bruins, and Patriots to see if they can add to Boston's banners. And the Bruins and head coach Claude Julien were wrapping up a 4-game homestand last night against the Columbus Blue Jackets. To pick it up in the first period, Mark Letetstu backhands a pass to Blake Comio in front of the net. and he puts it home and scores past Boston's backup goalkeeper for 1-0 Blue Jackets. Less than 2 minutes now in the period when Zdeno Chara finds the pass here at the blue line and gets a little help off Louis Eriksson's skate, and the Bruins tie it at 1. Still in the second period now, and the Bruins will be on the attack again after they finish celebrating. When Sean Thornton will find the back of the net with a little help from the left post as he gets a nice pass here and puts it home, giving the Bruins a 2-1 lead. Second period now with the same score, still 2-1 Bruins, when Bruins goalie Chad Johnson makes the save, but Nick Foligno gets the putback goal and ties the game at 2, and it would stay that way until overtime came. And in overtime, Cam Atkinson's pass is blocked by Milan Lucic, and he takes it the other way and scores the game winner, giving the Bruins a 3-2 win. And Boston has now won 4 straight with that victory. The Celtics were looking to extend their win streak to 5 in a row against the visiting Charlotte Bobcats to be above 500 for the first time this season on Wednesday night. We'll pick it up halfway through the first quarter when Anthony Tolliver hits a 3 from the top of the key for the Bobcats, putting them up 10, 18-8. Less than 2 minutes later, it's 20-9 Charlotte now, and Brandon Bass will put it home and get fouled on the play. He would make the free throw, cutting the lead to 20-12. Bobcats did lead at halftime, and they kept it going right into the third quarter when Jeff Taylor steals the ball and dunks home through 2 Celtic defenders to increase Charlotte's lead 71-64. The Celtics would get close, but not close enough, as their win streak ends at 4 games and lose 89-83. All you Patriot fans will have to find something else to occupy your time on Sunday afternoon this week, because the Patriots are visiting the state of North Carolina to take on the Panthers on Monday Night Football. The Patriots' offense will face a tough test as Carolina's defense has evolved into one of the best in the league during their 5-game win streak. The offense of the Patriots has seemed to find its stride after dropping 55 points on Pittsburgh last week. Kickoff is scheduled for 8:30 on ESPN. With the winter season comes coats, hats, gloves, and basketball. Andrea Nagy shows us how the Husson women's basketball team is preparing.
The Husson women's basketball team has been working hard preparing for the season. They have 18 players this year compared to 12 players last year. They not only have some new young girls, but some transfers as well. The first 4 weeks were filled with basic skills and moves. Head coach Kissy Walker says she's impressed with how well the team is learning.
But they're picking up really well, quicker than some of the other teams that I've had. They're pretty smart players as far as basketball-wise, and so we have more in now than we've had in the past years.
One issue with having a young team can be who the team looks to for leadership. Walker feels that she has a pretty quick group with guards that can run the floor and handle the ball. Their philosophy is going to be press and run the ball and put in different groups. Walker is going to wait and see who the team looks to for leadership instead of having any captains.
Right, and we won't be this year. We just have, such a young group, and we have 2 seniors, one's hurt, and so I find that the players kind of find who they want to look to in terms of a leader. So I'm kind of using this time right now for them to find their way and see who they're going to turn to, and kind of keep my eyes and ears open looking for those leaders.
As far as winning another championship is concerned, Walker has faith in her team. Walker normally stays close to New England when recruiting, but this year they do have 1 player from Florida. There's no doubt in Walker's mind that they will have a good season and go far.
We always kind of expect it. Husson's just had a rich tradition in all their sports, and so, it almost is an expectation, I think, sometimes for us. So when we recruit, we're recruiting to bring players that can come in and be an impact and hopefully, get us to a point where we can compete for a championship. So we're hoping that we can, be right up there in the semifinals to the championship and compete for that title.
The first game of the season will be on November 18th versus Bates College at 7 p.m. Andrea Nagy, NESCom Connection.
Moving on to the field now, bowl eligibility is on the line in the final Husson football game of the regular season. The Eagles are coming off a 3-point loss from last week, and this week host the Mustangs of Mount Ida College. Husson is 5-4 overall and need 1 more win to give them 6 on the year and also to be bowl eligible for the first time since the 2008 season. The game is also Youth Football Day, which allows all youth football players in uniform and their parents free admission. Coming up next, Tyler Stack will have your local forecast. We'll be right back.
The Gracie Theater at Husson University invites you to its second season, brimming with star power. Kicking off the season September 14th is the award-winning country duo Steel Magnolia. November welcomes 80s film sweetheart Molly Ringwald with her jazz quartet in an evening of musical entertainment. Forbidden Broadway, the fall-down funny musical roast of Broadway drops by February 1st. And wrapping up the season in April is TV and film star comedian Paul Reiser. Tickets for all 4 shows are available at gracietheater.com or by calling 941-7888.
Switch to Time Warner Cable and get home phone service, digital cable in HD, and Roadrunner high-speed online, all together in one affordable package. It's 3 high-end products for one low-end price. In fact, the more you get, the more you save. Want ease and convenience? You should get what you want. Call now and get the 3 products you want most, all on our advanced fiber network. Save hundreds of dollars a year when you get digital cable, Roadrunner high-speed online, and digital phone together. Time Warner Cable, the power of you.
Right here in Bangor, Maine is a new day. You are part of a team with passion and creativity. It's about personal attention at NESCom. You gotta pull your weight around here, even if it is the live truck.
Radio's all about personality. Hey, they can't see you.
Today, Coach Nason is preparing students for success.
Another practice day.
Fade up, fade down, fade up. We need a brand image. Go. Okay, here's the game plan.
Want your education to look like this? Or this? The New England School of Communications. Your passion, our experience, your future. Visit us online at nescom.edu.
Welcome back. Our weatherman Tyler Stack is going to tell us what is coming up for the next couple of days.
Do we have snow? I need to know.
No snow, Amber. That's the good news. It actually should be a very nice weekend. We'll see seasonably high temperatures for this time of year. So it should be great football watching weather if you're going to go to the football game on Saturday. And we should see more sun. So it's looking very, very well.
That works.
Well, let's go take a look at what we got coming up this weekend. Today, we're going to see highs about 51 degrees. Right now in Bangor, it's about 50, so we're matching that so far. You're going to see lows around 31 degrees. Winds coming out of the southwest about 5 miles an hour. And the sunset is going to set about 4:05 tonight. Tonight, lows 31 degrees. Light winds, nothing too severe, and partly cloudy overnight. Saturday, lows about 31 degrees. Winds about 3 miles an hour or so, and the sunset's going to set around 4:06 again. So it should be a very nice weekend and very good football watching weather for everyone out there.
I'm okay with the temperatures, but it's still cold. If it's going to be cold, it might as well be snowing.
Hey,
really?
It's going to be about 50, so you can go get some yard work done or do whatever you need to do outside.
I have nothing to do outside.
Caitlin, what do you got planned for this weekend?
Nothing much.
There you go. Well, it should be a fun weekend, guys, and hopefully the rain holds off.
All right. Well, coming up, we'll be giving you some hunting tips as well as discussing the white mitten tragedy with the author of The Morning Dove. We'll be right back.
Want your education to look like this? Or this? The New England School of Communications. Your passion, our experience, your future. Visit us online at nescom.edu.
The Gracie Theater at Husson University invites you to its second season, brimming with star power. Kicking off the season September 14th is the award-winning country duo Steel Magnolia. November welcomes 80s film sweetheart Molly Ringwald with her jazz quartet in an evening of musical entertainment. Forbidden Broadway, the fall-down funny musical roast of Broadway drops by February 1st. And wrapping up the season in April is TV and film star comedian Paul Reiser. Tickets for all 4 shows are available at gracietheater.com or by calling 941-7888.
Switch to Time Warner Cable and get home phone service, digital cable in HD, and Roadrunner high-speed online, all together in one affordable package. It's 3 high-end products for one low-end price. In fact, the more you get, the more you save. Want ease and convenience? You should get what you want. Call now and get the 3 products you want most, all on our advanced fiber network. Save hundreds of dollars a year when you get digital cable, Roadrunner high-speed online, and digital phone together. Time Warner Cable, the power of you.
Right here in Bangor, Maine is a new day. You are part of a team with passion and creativity. It's about personal attention at NESCom. You gotta pull your weight around here, even if it is the live truck.
Radio's all about personality. Hey, they can't see you.
Today, Coach Nason is preparing students for success.
Another practice day.
Fade up, fade down, fade up. We need a brand image. Go. Okay, here's the game plan.
The Maine deer fire hunting season is underway and will continue until November 30th. The Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife offers the hunting safety course that is required for individuals to hold a hunting license each year. The minimum course length for these classes is 12 hours, while most average more. The class involves lectures and demonstrations, homework, field experience, as well as a written exam. To find a course, you can contact the Regional Safety Coordinator for your area. Here are some hunting safety tips to keep in mind. According to the International Hunter Education Association in Maine, anyone who hunts with a firearm during any open firearm season on deer is required to wear 2 articles of solid-colored hunter orange clothing, which must be in good condition and visible from all sides. One article must be a hat and the other must cover a major part of the torso. The legal hunting hours are a half an hour before sunrise until a half an hour after sunset. Also, shooting within 100 yards of a building or residential dwelling without permission from the owner is illegal.
25 years ago, on November 15th, 2 shots altered the sport of hunting forever. Karen Wood of Herman was in her backyard wearing white mittens. After 2 shots, she was dead. Hunter Donald Rogerson was arrested on manslaughter charges. Members of the jury told the Bangor Daily News that they believed Rogerson had in fact seen a deer before firing the shot that killed Karen Wood. Rogerson was found not guilty in October of 1990. Rogerson told the BDN that when he first saw the deer, he was close enough that when he brought up his scope, all he could see was brown, took the safety off, and fired. He also said he fired a second shot at flags that looked like a deer's tail. The white mitten tragedy caught national attention and encouraged stricter hunting laws to be put in place. In the 20 years since, including 1988, the year of Wood's death, just 13 died. Here in the studio, we have author of The Mourning Dove, Meg Wilson. The Mourning Dove was inspired by the white mitten tragedy and has a fictional take on the event. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
It's nice to have you. For those who haven't read the book, can you give us a brief summary about it?
Sure. It's a complicated story, but in its simplest terms, it's a story of what happens when 2 families collide 14 years after a 6-year-old boy is killed by a hunter in his backyard. It's a story. The Mourning Dove itself is the name of a restaurant. It stands for grief and peace. And that is what the hunter is looking for after 14 years when he returns to Maine after living in exile after his acquittal.
What aspects of the book were based upon the white mitten incident?
Good question. The first chapter is all about Mikey getting killed. And so very much it's true to life in what we believe happened to Karen Wood. In this case, it's a white swing and not a white mitten. It's a white swing that he sets into motion in his backyard when he goes out to play, and he is shot, and he's wearing brown clothing. In no sense do I blame Mikey in the story. I hope that all my readers see that I'm completely unbiased. I like my readers to decide where their allegiance lies. So it's hard to tell. I wrote as a cathartic measure after what happened to Karen Wood.
In terms of writing, how long did it take you to actually write the book and do the research and such?
Well, I started it in 2001. I started writing it as a young adult novel with a 14-year-old protagonist, and I wrote it in the first person. But then I realized there were a lot of themes I couldn't explore at all, a lot of adult themes having it for young adults. I ended up writing it over again, and I still didn't like it, so I started completely over in 2010, this time for adults and older teens. It's called a crossover novel, so it crosses over from older teens to adults, much like The Lovely Bones and books by Jodi Picoult. And what I did with Morning Dove is when I finished coming to the place where I wanted my characters, then, you know, I knew that my job was done.
What do you think inspired you to write the book?
Well, she was right down the road from me when she was killed, and it was a very difficult time for me from that November 15th, 1988 until the acquittal, because I realized it just as easily could have been me in my own backyard. And I had a deer stand in my own backyard when this happened. She was in a subdivision almost identical to mine, built by the same developers. And I realized if my children were in danger, I would also be outside doing what I had to get a hunter away from my property. And I wouldn't have thought twice about what I was wearing to do that for my children.
So you kind of connect with that on a personal level?
Very personal level. And that's why I wrote the book. I felt as though I needed to come to terms with what happened. And in my mind, I needed to change the outcome. I wanted to see the hunter making amends. And I wanted to sort of validate in my mind that that had occurred.
Your husband is an avid hunter and Maine guide.
He is.
Did that have any effect on his view of hunting? Or hunting safety?
No, actually, he helped me with the first chapter because I wanted to make sure it was very accurate. I wanted to make sure I knew exactly what would happen at that time of day that Karen Wood was shot. I needed to know what kind of weapon was being used and how this kind of accident could happen. It took a hunter to explain to me how it could happen, but why it never should have happened. And thankfully, because of Karen Wood, we now have those target identification laws that keep these things from happening as often. We've gone down significantly because of Karen Wood.
It's definitely good.
Yeah, this book is in honor of Karen Wood.
How long did it take you?
Yes, thank you. I knew I wanted to get back to that. It took me a good 3 years to finish writing Morning Dove. Once I wrote it for adults, I knew that it was right. I entered it in a contest. I ended up doing very well. It came in the top 50 of 5,000 novels, and that was in 2012. So it was 2 years of working with my writers group, getting everything by them first, entering it in that contest, and then when Publishers Weekly gave it a really nice review after coming in as a semifinalist, that was the end of 2012. So I published right away.
Yeah. When the book first came out, what was people's response to it? Were they immediately drawn to it, or did it take them a while to?
Well, I have to say, no matter where you live in the state of Maine, people remember the Karen Wood White Mitten case if they're of a certain age, and even some of their kids remember it because if they're hunters in their family, they've all heard of Karen Wood and the new target identification laws that keep things from happening. So right away, people said, "Oh, I remember that. I remember hearing the White Mitten thing." It didn't take long for it to catch on. And people are still going to my website, megwilsonauthor.com. They go on there and can read more about Morning Dove and what led to me writing this book.
It's very interesting. Thank you so much for joining
us.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Yes, unfortunately, that is all the time we have for this edition of NESCom Connection. I'm Amber Abatoni.
And I'm Caitlin Furge. Thanks for watching.